All right. Welcome, guys. What's your name? What you playing?
What's up, guys? My name's Jordan. It's been a minute. I got first at our local box tournament, and I'm playing Tearlament at 4-0.
Awesome. Well, let's see what you're playing, my friend.
I already told you I'm playing Tear, the best deck.
Sure about that?
Can you see it all good in the camera?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're playing kind of standard a little bit. There's a little bit of changes, but first, 3 Rhino Heart, standard, Havanus, Meruli, Sheeran. You got to play them. 3 Tear Cash, and I'm going to go by engine. 3 Planet, 3 Scream. This is all pretty standard. 3 Solic. Some people are swapping between 3 and 2. I personally like 3. I just like to have more live mills. Meta Noise, I think this card's insane. I don't know why people don't play it, but I think this card's nuts. And then the brick, unfortunately. But with this deck, it's fine. It's not really that big of a brick. You'll see why in a second. Next, the next best engine. We got the Horus stuff, 3 Imseti, pretty standard. 1 Happy, pretty standard. I am playing 2. I keep going back and forth whether I want to bump this up to 3, but I just think with the ratios and stuff where I'm at right now, I just think 2 is plenty for me. I see it often enough, so that's fine. For non-engine stuff, you play 2 Fenrir. Card's just crazy. You can summon it off of the zombie vampire if you don't start with it. If you start with it in your hand, you basically force them to have to interact with this. Card's broken. I think it needs to be at 1 or 0, but that's neither here nor there. Just playing 1 Mothman, 1 Nessie. They just help you play through boards sometimes because you almost never get these negated. And this is a dark aqua, so it helps you make, like, Garua is also an aqua for Kaleido Heart. This is just a good dark to shuffle back to make, like, Mud Dragon and stuff like that, and it just helps you, again, play through Disruption. The other brick, 2 Malicious. Bring this back to 3, so that way if I have 1 in hand and I send it off Sheeran and I mill the second one, it's still live, please. It's not that crazy, I promise, but I hate and love this card. It's so good and has got me out of so many situations, but it's just so bad because I either see both of them in my hand or I mill both of them off of a mill, which sucks, but it is what it is. That's the price of playing a good card. 1 Beast. I actually was not on the Foolish Burial. I thought it was Cope, and then someone on the Tearlament Facebook group was like, oh, you just play this and this, that way you basically just replace Foolish Burial with a draw if you have nothing better to send, and also it gives you a dark, and I am playing Winda in the extra deck for right now, so it's nice to just dump, get a draw, and even if I don't make Winda that turn, it sets up Winda for next turn with a dump or something, so that's where that is right now. I liked it. It came up a few times. And then obviously shufflers, cards are crazy. You just hit Snake Eye stuff, you hit any deck. It gives you plays on your opponent's turn by shuffling back a tier, like a Tear Cash or something in Grave. And then if you have, Planet Up, you just pop something. So it just gives you ways to play. It makes your board more threatening than it actually looks, which is really nice, which is why I like this deck quite a bit. 3 Droplet. Trying this out, it came up a few times, mainly against Branded, stopping their Sanctifier, stuff like that, or just stopping, like, just really anything. It's really good. I like it a lot. Helps dodge things sometimes. 2 Talents. For me, for the non-engine, I felt like my non-engine just needed to do something, and these are the most impactful non-engine I can play right now, because almost everyone's playing a bunch of hand traps, or if you're playing into a board, this card's really good. Looking at their hand and ripping out their starter for the next turn if they hand trap you, or taking a monster. It's just a really solid card. I think it's very, very good right now. 2 Super Poly, similar. I just think your non-engine really needs to do something. This card's not the best, but it still does it, and you're playing all of the typical Super Poly targets anyways, so I think it's fine. I'm playing it at 2. I don't want to see it all the time, but I want to see it sometimes. And I think this ratio has been correct for me right now. And then Foolish Burial Goods, you send Scream, you send Meta Noise, you send Solic, you send Trivikarma, all the fun stuff. and then you already saw the Fosh Burial. Sometimes it's a starter, sometimes it's an extender, sometimes it just does whatever it needs to. On the extra deck, pretty standard. You got your Mud Dragon, you got your Winda, Dangerous, Garua, Dragosopelia, Kaleidoheart. You're playing, in this you're playing 6 fusions. Some people play 4, some people play 5. I just kind of, this is what I found works for me, so I like that. One Toad, make this pretty much every end board. Bahamut, you make this pretty much every time. Beatrice, you can make it quite a bit, just depends on your hand. Zombie Vampire, card's crazy, gives you access to knowing what your opponent's on. Also, milling 4 is just super nice since we can't mill 5 anymore, and sometimes your opponent just deals with this, and then you just play out the rest of your turn perfectly fine. There's been multiple times where I've either played the Tearlament side of the board and just done tier stuff and then done Horus stuff last, or I've played out Horus side of the board and then played tier second when they don't have any hand traps or they've wasted everything. So it's just really nice, and sometimes you can still like key monsters that you don't want them to have in grave. You play your 1 dark, it's good, helps you link climb, make a bunch of different stuff. IP, some people have been cutting this. I just think that like IP into Sprint or IP into SP is just way too good. I think it just gives you so many layers of interaction. I actually, I was playing a branded player and he had a monster on board and I had IP and a bunch of other stuff there. And he ended up talenting me, attempting to take my Fenrir. And I chained this, and then I chained Tear Cache to summon from hand. So Tear Cache resolved summoning, and then I linked everything away into Underworld Goddess, and he couldn't take anything because it can't be targeted, or it's unaffected by cards that don't target it. So that was kind of a funny way to play around it, and he kind of had to just do nothing from there. Sprint, I really don't make this that much, but it's a contingency plan. Sometimes you need it. SP, best card in the game, I think. It's just so good. So I think it's one of the best, but also like coincidentally one of the fairest. You can just go to battle phase, beat over it if you need to, or you can try to play through it. It's not super crazy. It's not like an Omni Negate or anything, so it's really nice. I like it. And then Underworld Goddess. This is mainly for like locals. We have a lot of Raid Raptor. We have a lot of Ubel, stuff like that. And sometimes just linking their big bungus away into this just sometimes just helps you play through boards. So that's more locals meta. It might stay in, it might not. It might get switched for like Appaloosa or something else. I'm not sure. Now the side deck, 1 Typhon. I just needed a 15th card. I want to see this more going second anyways. But I never sided it in. It literally never came up. 3 Nib. I think this is really solid in the tier deck because it's a really high impact hand trap. Some people just don't respect it, and then you nib them and they can't play, and then you just kill them next turn. Or sometimes if you have this and you get to build a board and it's on their crackback and they're trying to build a board, you can nib and you don't really lose anything, because if you're nibbing your tier cards like Kaleidoheart's going to summon back and get you another fusion and shuffle. The planet's going to pop a card, so you nib them and then you just blow up their board all over again. So it's really nice. I like it a lot. 3 Gamma Seal, same thing. A lot of Ubel, a lot of Raid Raptor, stuff like that. So you kind of need this to get rid of their big boys. Also, it's an Aqua for Kaleidoheart, so comes up. I think I cited this in like once. So it's there. Scattershot, unfortunately, time rolls suck. You got to play time cards. The 3rd Talents, again, my side deck was a little wonky, and this is just going first. I get to side this in, that way I have a more likely chance to see it and maybe, rip a card out of their hand or something if I can continue to play or draw 2. Or going second, then this just gives me an extra contingency to play through their board, stealing a monster or something like that. 3 Skill Drain. I am the biggest hater of Floodgates, but our locals is kind of toxic, and also you just kind of, if Flu shifters you just kind of giga lose to them, so you play this card so that way you just beat Flu. It sucks. I hate to play it, but like it's just a good card, and it just makes matchups free because you can end up just being on like Kaleidoheart, Tear Cache, Fenrir, and you just have big bodies, and you're just at that point playing big body beatdown, and you can still resolve your fusions in Grave. So it's kind of crazy. I don't like it, but I mean, you got to be a little toxic, whatever. And lastly, evenly matched. Again, similar reason to some of the other stuff you saw in here. We just have a lot of unaffected things right now at our locals, and so evenly matched just forces Raid Raptor to kind of keep one card instead of having 2 unaffected monsters or 3 unaffected monsters or a board wipe or their rank up or whatever. And so you just do that into trap matchups. Into a lot of matchups, you're okay. And with Tear, kind of the way that Tear plays now a little bit is you're playing more of kind of like a control style. So you evenly match them, you deal with whatever's left on their board, and then you just set up like Toad plus a bunch of other stuff, and you're just like, okay, try to play the game. But I think it's a good card. It might come out. Some of the stuff I'm iffy on, some of the stuff I'm pretty hard set on, but it performed really well, and I think it's okay.
All right, any shout outs?
Shout outs to the man behind the camera, Nate, for getting my Druid Worm, actually lying to me because he didn't have it.
I didn't lie.
Shout out to Nick and Bert, the homies. Shout out to everyone that comes to the Gathering Place and plays. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you.